Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well today. It's Wednesday, September the 10th. I don't know about you, but it just seems like it's going by really quick. Oh, I always say that, but it really does. I think the older you get, the quicker it goes. And you know, there's a Bible verse that says that too. It talks about that in the last days, the reaper will overtake the sower. And it's almost like time is collapsing on itself. But anyway, I don't mean to get so theological with you right up at the front. Hope you're doing good. Hope you've had an incredible week so far. I know I have. It's been amazing, having the time of my life. And just seeing what God's doing and everything else. Hey, listen, if I haven't got a chance to meet you, my name is Jay. My wife Vicki and I, we lead this church called The Gate, Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland area. We're based here, but really all over the place. We're just our vision, our goal, always says is to lead a person from the crowd of the world to the core of the kingdom of Jesus Christ. Also, one of our missions is to create or to help plant hubs, what we call hubs, little places of faith in every neighborhood where you can just do church in your home. And that's kind of where we're at and what we're doing and having the time of our lives doing it. So I got a question for you today. What is your normal reaction to something that you're not sure about, that you don't really know a whole lot about? I think that's a good question about. I'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, that's the question. So think about that for a moment. I come to every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday like this, just a little bit hang out, just kind of encourage you, all that good kind of stuff, but also just to let you know that you're not alone. That's the big thing. I like encouraging you, challenging you, giving you a thought, giving you something you can go on the day with or talk to your friends about, but mainly and with focus is I want to just say to you, you're not alone. You are, we're here, and I know it might be from a distance. Maybe you're local and you see it and join us and all of that kind of stuff. But I just want you to know that, one, Jesus will never leave you or forsake you. But the second thing is we're here, and we want to encourage you no matter if it's, ways away, across the nation, or whatever the case is. So I came across this, well, let me just tell you something my wife did to me yesterday. You know you got this little, she was on social media and she was, oh, Jay, you got to see this. You got to see this. And so it's this, just this guy, he's walking across a train track. And it's kind of like one of those train tracks. It's right there in the city. We live right outside of Chicago, of course, and we've got trains everywhere. Some are, like industrial trains, and some are passenger trains. You got commuter trains, you have, all those kinds of things. This one was a track where you kind of walking across the, it's a commuter train. So it's real smooth and has a lot of walkways right around it. And so he's filming it and he's walking right through it. And he gets over and he looks down the track. He looks down the track the other way. Nothing's coming or anything else. And so he continues walking in. And then all of a sudden when he arrives, boom, the track is right there. There's a big horn whistle. And I went, ah! It was one of those things to design to cause you to scream, whatever the case is. I mean, it just startled you really fast. And those are things, that we say, man, that scared me. And I was teasing Vicki about it. She's always getting me and stuff like that. And I always, react like that. Good morning, Lydia. Blessings on you. Thanks for being here today. So when you're doing that, I came across this quote. Good morning, Adam. Blessings on you. I came across this quote, and I think it's an old Stoic or ancient wisdom quote or anything, but it says, "Fear is a reaction, but courage is a decision." We're in this series right now of All In for Faith, and as we've been doing it, we just launched it Sunday, and I've been doing a lot of faith things and talking about faith and everything else. And I started realizing, even last night when Vicki showed me that little social media and it caused me, I yelled, and she's just sitting there, gut laughing and cracking up. Not as much as that as my reaction, knowing that she was going to get me. And I think sometimes we go through life and we get scared. You have something startles you, and or whatever the case is. But I think this quote is talking a little bit more about the things that we face in life that causes us fear. When you think about it, fear is an automatic. It's an automatic reaction, right? I mean, it's something that we're not sure about. There is only two things that babies are born with as far as reactions. They have only two fears of loud noises and falling. And that's a defense mechanism in the idea that they're gonna, no one has to teach them to kind of hold on. If you ever are holding a baby and you're holding them a little bit loose, they'll start gripping on, and they'll realize, or loud noises, they'll cry. And exactly, like my shirt. Thank you, Adam. Like my shirt. Yeah, this is our All-In series T-shirt. I didn't realize. Yeah, I do have it on. But so my thought on this is fear is always going to be there. It is never not going to be there. It's not just a thing. It's Joshua 1:9. He says, "Do not be afraid for anything. It says, fear not. Have I not commanded you?" And here comes the second part of that. Be strong and courageous. In other words, it says there, but courage is a decision. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. It's the choice that you make between how you're going to walk, how you're going to step out, how you're going to see these things. And I think the biggest thing is we need to realize that courage is not the automatic first choice. Fear comes in, and it's that gut punch when you face a tough a situation. It's that thing where you got a conversation that you need to have. You've got something that you're stepping out into, and you're doing something new that you've never done before, and you're kind of stepping out in faith, kind of feel like you're walking on water. And is that wave going to take me out? Whatever the case is, we have so many things. The Bible even says that even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. It's this idea that you're going to walk through situations that are going to cause reactions of fear, cause reactions of anxiety, cause reactions of doubt, all of these things. And that is by nature, it's going to happen. But our response and not our reaction is what's crucial here. Our reaction is initially going like, I don't want to do this. I mean, Jesus faced that. He faced it in the garden where he says, I don't want to do this. Let this cup pass from me. There was a bit of trepidation in him. There was some fear. Even though he knew the future, he was the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and yet he laid that equality with God, his godlikeness, he laid it aside, and was fully man and fully God. And it's a lesson for each one of us to realize that there's going to be things that will happen like that. And I think that the reality comes down to is that first and foremost, we just need to acknowledge it. We need to acknowledge that our initial reflex on anything that's going to be out there is going to be fear, doubt, or anxiety. That's just the way it's going to be. When you don't know the future, when you don't know it. I've had people say to me all the time, just tell me where you're going. Just tell me this. Vicki and I, when we were first dating, she says, hey, can you just tell me where the car's at? I'm like, well, I'll take you to it. She says, I know, but I need to know. And I realized that something for Vicki to feel safe with me, she just needed to know where the car was at. And so to this day, I will say to her, we're walking out of a building, because I usually drop her off at the door and then I go park the car. And in those events that we just walk out together, and we walk all the way to the car, I'll say the car's over there or the car's that way. And you can't see the car, but I just told her where it's at. And she's looking at me going, I can trust him because I know he parked the car. And I think that that's the thing about us, is that she didn't need to see the car. She just needed me to tell her where the car was at. And I think that that's the big difference between, faith in something and needing to know everything toward the end. And I love our Believer's Proclamation. It says, It says there that we have faith to move mountains, favor from the King of Kings, and a future that is out of this world. The faith that moves mountains says God's been to that mountain. He knows where it's at, and he knows it needs to be moved. God's parked the car. He was already there. He's been there. He's going to be there when we get there, but he's walking aside, and he just says, walk that way. Go that. I need you to go that way. That's where the car's at. That's where I'm going to be when you end up. And it's in the faith, in the courage, is the ability to step off that curb and walk toward where the person who parked the car is at, or where they pointed. Even though they're walking with you, they're saying, go this way. And I think that's something that's hugely important. And so the reality comes down to is you just got to acknowledge that most times, I wouldn't say all, but most times when you're walking in those times where you don't know what the end game is, you don't know if the resource is going to come in, you don't know what it is. You just know God says keep walking. You just know God says keep going there, and he says there, I'm going to take care. I got it. If he tells you to start something, then start it. Don't be afraid, because that could be the vehicle that gets you to where you don't know where you're going. It may feel like you're on a detour or whatever the case is. I was going out to Phoenix, Arizona, flying one time, and if you know your geography at all in the United States, Arizona is out west. I ended up having a layover in Atlanta, which is considerably east from where I'm at, southeast, out of Chicago, and I thought to myself, that's crazy. Why do I have to go there to go there? And the reality came down to is because that was the quickest way to get and connecting flights of a plane. It was very simple. Abraham Lincoln was talking with a man who was very kind of like his against him in the idea of getting the abolition of slavery and getting it in the Constitution, that we would write it out. And he was trying to go after it. And the man just looked at him and says, we just need to go do it. We just need to go do it. And he says there, if you go north out, and they're sitting there in a basement area in Washington, D.C. at the time. And he says to the man, they're meeting secretly. And he goes, if you go directly north right now, if you take this street and you go directly north to get north, because you're going north, you've got to go north. If you go that way, you're going to end up in a bog. You're going to end up in a swamp, and you're going to get stuck, and you will never get there. And if no one comes to help you, you will die in that swamp. And the man looked at him and he goes, we both want to get to the same, Abraham Lincoln says, we both want to get to the same place. We just have to go a little bit west, or we have to go a little bit east to get past that bog so we can get to where we want to go. And I think sometimes what happens is we don't trust that God says, I parked the car there, but I got to see it. God, I don't need to know how this looks. No, you don't. You just need to know you have a future that's out of this world. No, you don't. You need to know you've got faith to move mountains. I'm the mountain mover, God says. And he's saying to each one of us, I need you to not fear. I need you to not doubt. And I need you not to be anxious. I need you to go forward. Praise me, sing, dance. All of that kind of stuff can happen while we're walking. But I need you to simply go forward. Take that step. You need to pray. You need to acknowledge the fear. You need to embrace the courage. You need to pray. You need to step out. You need to lean. You need to lean on his arm. You need to get some people that have already done that valley before and how they got through. Lean on a group of them. And then go make today count. How's that sound? That's what I've got for you today. All right. Let me pray for you. And let me just hey, share this post, do all those things, like the button, smash all the buttons wherever it's at, and then follow, and then go take this and share with somebody around you what's going on with that. Okay, and then we'll pray. Oh, and I've got a study guide on these sermons that we're preaching, and if you want a study guide, I'm going to put it in the chat area. The link that you can go and get a study guide. You can just download it for free, and this will help you. It'd be a weekly study guide on All In for Faith. All right, let me pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for today. I ask your will be done. You be given glory. And that, Lord, as we go forward, may we trust you when you point the direction for us to go. May we trust you that you've been there. You've done that. You created it, and we're walking with you. That today we will not react in fear, but we will respond with courage. Thank you for this in Jesus' name. Amen. Blessings on you guys. And don't forget, make today count, because you're better than yesterday, but not near as